All right, here's another episode of what do we call this?
Transparency and Merit.
That's right, it's Transparency and Merit. I'm Joe, that's Brian. Today we have another lightning rod of a show.
Yes.
Selfish people on the internet.
Yes, and this person basically continued to call me while I was doing my show. And now I am going to get this person on to, yes, I'm going to add this person and see what he has to say for himself.
Yes. Because we couldn't get through 15 minutes without this person.
Yes. And he probably won't come on now because he knows I'm going to read him the riot act. Are you there? Are you there, sir?
He might be afraid.
Now, where else would I be?
Yes.
No, he's not too scared.
Do you
to
admit
talk.
to being a selfish pig?
Yes. Oink, oink.
I made your show so much better.
Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But why? Just out of curiosity, because you are considered very selfish. What reason did you have to continually?
Isn't that so typical of this monster to come on and say, "I made your show so much better. Our show is already great, but thank you for joining."
No, your show wasn't great. Your show was horrible.
It absolutely was much better than the one you haven't done.
Yeah, let's see you do it. Let's see you get out there on the field and play.
I'm from Philadelphia. Everything I say is of the utmost importance.
I can do a show at will using proper diction.
So many people from Philadelphia have this disorder. What do you think is wrong with all you people?
I just want you to notice that 3M stopped using the word like, for whatever reason, he dropped it. He needs to
be reminded every once in a while. Thanks.
So your mental raping and harassment helped me. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Well, re-listen to the show. In the beginning, it was Joe, like. Perhaps you're correct. And then it disappeared.
Yes.
And I didn't have to do anything except annoy.
Make me angry. You know what? That anger, and it's a controlled anger, because actually, in all seriousness, I'm not that upset. I was a little bit PO'd. Joe got a little bit pissed off.
Nobody cared about Joe.
Yeah, but he lost his train of thought.
Good point. And I was only mad that he couldn't control his notifications.
Mm-hmm. Well, you were calling me. I could not. I did the do not disturb thing on my on the Skype, and it didn't work.
But because I have the do not disturb breaker.
So you knew all along what you were doing, and you continued to do it. You feed.
I was there to help you.
He's ready to call all Jews out over this.
Well, but by the way, when angry, we were going to do a show on this, but it might be even too inflammatory. Do you think Jews tend to be more narcissistic than other ethnic and racial groups?
I think Jews tend to be more liberal and social justice warrior bullshit than most other groups. I think there's something wrong.
Now, why is that? And do you have any members of your family or your, like when you went to synagogue, did you notice that they were social justice warrior crap?
No. And I haven't been to synagogue more than 10 times in my life.
What? Did you have any social justice warriors like in your family?
No, and I'm not even bar mitzvahed.
What? So
not a lot of Jews get bar mitzvahed, actually. Not that many.
Well, Joe was probably not born a Jew. He's an adopted Jew. He's really not one of the tribe.
Can you look at that face and tell? I mean, come on, look at that face and tell me that's not a Jew.
I'm Jew. Just take a look at this nose.
He could be a Jew or a Lithuanian. I don't know. They all got big beaks out.
Now, can you usually tell a person? I mean, Joe and I both, because I've been raised around Jews. I can usually tell a Jew when I see one. Can you spot a Jew usually when you see one?
Jew, like Howard Stern does.
Yeah.
Notice I did say the word like, but in the proper way. So, you think you can spot the Jews? I can spot the liberals.
Even without them talking?
Yes.
How?
Especially driving.
What does a liberal?
Okay.
What
a liberal, when you see them driving, they will wear their seatbelt, but it will be on loosely. Their seat will be all the way up, so that when they do have that accident, that they eat as much as the steering wheel as possible. And they never look left to right. They always look straight ahead. They never turn their heads and look to see what their surroundings are. They look straight ahead. And they always look like someone's chasing them. Always look like they're in distress. Very easy to spot.
Why do you think that driving pattern is a liberal trait?
Because they're mentally ill. It's just a manifestation of their illness.
Why are so many Jews liberal? And why are so many of them social justice warriors and leftists?
They were born into it. I don't know why they become that way, but they were born into it. And there's a big difference between Jews in Israel and Jews in America. I don't think the Jews in America are real Jews. I think that the real Jews are in Israel.
That's probably true. A lot of the Jews in Israel are far more realistic and not as leftist.
That's right. They wouldn't give up their guns and go move in. Let's move into a black neighborhood, honey, and let's show everybody how tolerant we are. Okay, yeah, good idea. Let's move and let's give up our guns, because we don't have any guns. No one can take them and hurt us with them. Look, they're kind of stupid. You have to understand that when Savage says that liberalism is a mental disorder, I think he's right on the money. Now, you go test my theory. Now, of course, California is probably not the place to make this test, but I would think that you have more liberals out there than you do conservatives. But if you look at the way a conservative drives. Now, how do you drive your car? Let me ask you this. You do wear a seat, yes?
Yes.
Is your seat all the way back as far as it can go?
No.
You sit close up to the wheel?
I don't sit close up to the wheel, but it's not as far. I don't like driving with my. I don't like driving.
No, I'm not saying where you can't reach it. I'm saying, is your seat as far back as you can go while extending your foot? Can you touch the pedals?
I don't like doing that. No, that is okay. I disagree with you on the whole driving thing.
He positions it comfortably. Okay, go on.
Okay. Do you sit back and survey? Do you drive with one hand or two?
Two.
Always.
Always.
I question your bona fides.
What the hell does that have to do with anything? You're supposed to have two. You're supposed to have two hands in the wheel at all times.
Who said that?
The driving manual.
When did you ever read a driving manual?
When I took driver's ed when I was 16.
And I don't know if you've noticed, but the 5 food groups in the food pyramid, the food pyramid's a bit of a farce too. You believe everything the government hands you?
No, but that's about driving, and that's driving is a privilege, not a right. Would you agree with that?
Driving is not a privilege. Driving is moving around. Driving is free movement. Driving is a commercial activity. Traveling is something else. Why do you need a license to drive?
All right, let's not get into all that.
Better yet, why do you need a license to get married?
Well, license to get married, I'm not sure why. I don't even know why the government should be issuing those out. Anyway, I was talking about selfish people on the internet. We're talking about selfishness.
Did I take over the show and change it to my topic?
You tried to, but we stopped you mid-tracks.
Was that an act of selfishness?
Have you always, let me ask you a question. Have you always been somewhat selfish?
Yes. I think selfishness is the most truest form of being compassionate to your fellow man.
Joe, do you have anything to add on that?
I heard it go. It was like ding, 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 ding. Joe, help me. What does he mean?
Well, I don't agree, but go on.
You don't agree with what?
Explain why that would be, because really you've lost so many brownie points with so many people. Why?
It's
why
very
that
simple. All you've got to do is read Ayn Rand and read about relativism. It's very simple.
Oh, God.
Everything you do is selfish. Just admit it. You don't do anything for anybody because you're altruistic. You do it because it makes you feel good.
I would agree with
something.
that.
Name me something that you do that you think is altruistic.
I like to share information.
Why?
One, it does give me pleasure, but I also feel somebody else gets.
Oh, well, you
out
can
of it.
stop right there. That's the reason you do it. It gives you pleasure. If it didn't, you wouldn't do it.
I do a lot of things I do for selfish, for joy for myself, but for that I feel both. It's a mutual gain.
No, you do things for selfish reasons. You don't do anything because
I don't agree.
Not a selfish reason.
Rand,
Nothing
Ayn
to do
Rand's
is
a bunch
unselfish.
of garbage. Give me a break. Give me a break.
You wanna argue objectivism with me? Really?
I'm just telling you, it's nonsense.
I would just like you to stop licking your lips when you're not talking.
I'm sorry, folks. I was chewing gum at the time. I wasn't licking my lips, but
he is.
I stopped chewing gum.
He is a
I was chewing gum.
Why? Did it make you feel?
Because it gives me. It may. You know what? It
calms you down.
It
said
helped,
you blanket
it helped
in the box.
my hunger. What's that?
It helped your hunger.
Mm-hmm.
You probably got leftovers upon leftovers in your refrigerator from all the food you have delivered. Is it ever occurred to you to cook for yourself?
No.
Why not? Why don't you get one of those box things that they?
All right.
You can cook with the recipe.
You are derailing the show again, making it all about you.
I make your show interesting. Your shows are not that. Hi, this is Joe, and I'm here with.
We're throwing out a bunch of topics that nobody's covering. Period.
Yeah. Wow. And by the way, when are you going to do your show and see how well you do? You can get Spreaker. You can have YouTube. Why don't you do it?
And you could do 15-minute shows for free.
I could do a show right after this one. I could talk for 2 hours. It would be interesting. You wouldn't hear an you wouldn't hear an ah. I wouldn't need anybody to call me and get me agitated.
Doesn't make the show any good.
Well, how many listens can you get?
More than you.
Go look at our numbers and then go do some shows, and we challenge you to a duel.
We challenge you to do a duel on YouTube.
Already established. I win. I always win.
Where are your numbers? We don't see anything.
I am much more interesting than you are.
We don't see a thing, and you're not more interesting. You're awful. No, it's the consent.
Well, of course you would say that because it's in your best interest to say that because I make you look bad.
No, I think you have more to give, and you'd rather argue about trivial things and talk about how good you are, but you never say anything of importance. Once in a blue moon, you do. When the topic suits your needs. And I'm kind of the same way. I don't jump into many conversations.
Because
I'll let Brian go ahead and talk all day long about certain things. I just don't care about them. I don't have enough to contribute. But when the topic does meet my interests, I'll jump in. And you can be damn sure it's going to be more interesting than anything you've done in the last 3 years. We have about 15 seconds left. 15 seconds.
Okay, that'll end it. Hey, on our YouTube channel, like and subscribe, please, and then also share.
Why don't you have your own